It started on a bright Sunday morning in the quiet town of Asheville, North Carolina. The scent of flowers still lingered in the air from the celebration the night before. Emma Graceland had just married the love of her life, Michael Pearson, in a beautiful garden ceremony that left the guests in tears of joy. She was radiant, glowing in her white lace gown, the perfect image of happiness. Her mother, Linda, couldn't stop smiling, and her best friend, Tara, swore she had never seen Emma so truly herself. Everyone agreed. It had been a dream wedding. But less than 24 hours later, Emma disappeared without a trace. Michael awoke that Monday morning in their honeymoon suite at the quaint Cedar Grove Inn, only to find Emma's side of the bed cold and untouched. At first, he thought she had gone for a walk or maybe was having breakfast downstairs. But the minutes turned into hours, and Emma never returned. Her phone was still on the bedside table. Her purse, her shoes, everything was there. Everything but Emma. Panic spread quickly. The police were called by noon. A search party was organized that afternoon. The inn was combed from top to bottom, and every guest and staff member was questioned. Surveillance footage showed Emma walking down the hallway around 2:13 a.m., barefoot, wearing her wedding night robe. Then nothing. No exit. No returning. No sound. She had simply vanished into the silence. The case exploded in the local news. "Bride gone missing on honeymoon," screamed the headlines. Speculations grew like wildfire. Some blamed Michael, whispering about jealousy or secrets. Others wondered if Emma had cold feet and staged her own disappearance. But no one could explain why she would leave everything behind, or how she managed to do so in a building with cameras and locked doors. Days turned into weeks. The search widened. Drones scanned the woods nearby. Divers searched the nearby creek. Billboards went up with her face. Michael, crushed and confused, refused to leave town. He stayed in the suite they had booked for the week, still hoping she'd walk through the door. Then, on the 26th day, a housekeeper named Rose found something strange. While changing the sheets in room 6B, 2 floors above the bridal suite, she noticed a loose panel beneath the window seat. Inside the hidden cavity was an old, dusty book, a diary with faded rose-print leather. At first, it seemed like someone's forgotten journal from years ago. But as she flipped through the pages, Rose saw Emma's name, her handwriting, and the last entry was dated the day before her wedding. The discovery was rushed to the police. Forensics confirmed it. It was Emma's. But the contents weren't just memories. They were confessions, and secrets, and warnings. The diary began innocently enough. Entries about meeting Michael, their first date, the way he made her laugh. But a shift happened halfway through. Emma started writing about strange dreams. Nightmares, really. The same one, night after night. She would be standing in her wedding dress, walking down the aisle, but everyone was faceless. And in the dream, just before she said, "I do," someone whispered her name, Emma, in a voice that wasn't Michael's. Then she began to notice things in real life. A car following her on her way to work. Her apartment door slightly ajar when she came home. The sound of someone breathing on the other side of the phone, but no one speaking. She wrote about a man with yellow eyes who she swore she saw in the reflection of the store window. Just a glimpse, but enough to send chills down her spine. Her entries became increasingly erratic. She wrote of waking up with bruises she didn't remember getting. She talked about someone named A, whom she believed was watching her. She was scared, but didn't tell anyone. Then came the final entry. "If you find this and I'm gone, please believe me, I didn't run. I saw him again tonight, in the mirror of the bridal suite. Same yellow eyes. Same whisper. I think he's inside the inn. Maybe always has been. I tried to tell Michael, but how could I? He already thinks I'm nervous about the wedding. But I'm not scared to marry him. I'm scared I won't make it to say I do. And if I don't let him win. Find the room. Room 6B. The page ended with smudged ink, as if she had closed the diary in a rush. That very night, she disappeared. In the same inn, 2 floors below room 6B. Detectives immediately searched room 6B again, now with a new perspective. Behind the window panel where the diary was hidden, they found another compartment, this one older, deeper. Inside, they discovered remnants of burnt fabric, what appeared to be bones, animal, but arranged in strange patterns, and symbols carved into the wood. A hidden crawl space connected to the attic, large enough for someone to hide in. It was then they brought in a forensic linguist, a cult expert, and a psychic medium. The carvings, it turned out, matched symbols from an obscure Appalachian cult that had supposedly vanished in the early 1900s. The cult, known as the Watchers Below, believed in tethering spirits to objects, especially places. They performed rituals to trap souls, feeding off fear and energy from those who stayed in the area. One ritual was believed to create a mirror soul, a doppelganger that could take a person's place if fear weakened their will. Emma's diary mentioned mirrors. The cult's symbols referenced the echo of the bride. The medium conducted a reading in the bridal suite. During the session, she fell unconscious. When she awoke, she claimed she had seen Emma, wearing her wedding dress, standing at the edge of a dark mirror, screaming without sound. Trapped. The theory grew. Emma hadn't run. She hadn't been murdered. She had been taken, spiritually. Swapped, perhaps. But for what? And why her? A week later, Michael was found unconscious in room 6B. He claimed he had seen Emma in a dream, that she was cold, crying, and said, "You're not safe either." He had returned to the room to try to make contact, guided by nothing but desperation. But when investigators checked the footage, something horrifying was revealed. The footage from the hallway that night showed Michael entering the room, followed 10 seconds later by Emma, or someone who looked exactly like her. But Emma was still missing. Dead. Lost. Replaced? Authorities sealed off room 6B. The inn eventually shut down. The diary was stored in an evidence locker, but copies circulated online, becoming the subject of Reddit threads, YouTube videos, and paranormal forums. Everyone had a theory. Some believed it was all real. Others said Emma had a mental break and vanished by choice. But no one could explain the footage, or how two Emmas had been captured walking into that room. A year later, a new couple visited the now-abandoned inn. Urban explorers, chasing ghost stories. They live-streamed the experience on social media. They never came back out. Their footage was recovered days later by local police. The last few minutes showed them standing in room 6B. The camera glitches. Then a voice, soft, whispering, unmistakably female. "Help me find my way back." And just for a second, in the corner of the mirror, was a woman in a wedding dress. Smiling, but not at the camera, at someone behind it. Emma Graceland was never found. But those who visit Cedar Grove Inn, or what's left of it, still report strange occurrences. Whispers in mirrors, dreams of yellow eyes, a voice asking not to be forgotten. And in the police archives, Emma's diary sits sealed. Her last words preserved in faded ink. "If I don't let him win."